Hey there, guys. Well, here we go again in 1908. This is May 28th, 1908. We've got the Browns at the Highlanders. Quick look at the standings, and the Browns are a game behind the Naps in the race for the American League first place. Highlanders 12 games behind, and they actually won the previous game, as I think you'll remember, playing 289 baseball. I've said this before, I'll say it again, I don't like this Highlanders team one bit, which is why we have Hal Chase on the thumbnail today, so imagine that. Here's Hope Ferris. He rolls a 65 for a 35. There's a little E rule. And it's going to be a 56, the rule. That's a foul out to the left side. It'll be caught there by Moriarty, the third baseman, for the first out. Moriarty, of course, starting at third base because Whit Conroy has hit so poorly for the Highlanders, but I don't know if it makes much of a difference. Here's Jimmy Williams now. Williams rolls a 31 for a 9. That's a single, and he's going to be caught trying to steal. So 2 away, and that will bring up George Stone. Stone hitting 273. By the way, Joe Lake, the pitcher, 2-3 his record with a 1.69 ERA. Stone rolls a 14 for a 43. There is that little E again. It's a 56. That'll be up and out of the range, and it'll be a fly ball over to left field. Stahl has that one for the out. And that takes us now to the bottom of the first inning. No score. Here comes Harry Niles against Harry Hal. Hal with a 4-2 record, 2.61 the ERA, 274 batted against average. He hasn't been fooling a lot of batters recently. Here comes Niles, who rolls a 32 for a 26 as a ground ball to second, and it'll be Williams making that play, throwing to first, 1 away. Wee Willie Keeler now hitting 278. Keeler, known as perhaps the greatest bunter of all time. Not going to help him here. He rolls a 53 for a 15, changed to an 18. It's a ground ball over to short, and Hartzell boots that one, and so Keeler gets on base. That'll bring up Hemphill. Keeler does have an 11, so we will hit and run with him. Remember, in 1908, it's either you hit and run or you bunt, and the roll's a 31 for a 9, and that's a ground ball over to short, and it's fielded by Hartzell this time, and he throws to first for the out, 2 away, and here comes Hal Chase. With 2 outs, it's every man for himself, and Chase rolls a 51 for an 8. That's a ground ball right back to Hal, the pitcher, and he throws to first for the out, ending the inning. Go now to the top of the second inning, no score. Here comes Roy Hartzell. Hartzell rolls a 45 for a 14, and Joe Lake has given up a walk, the 9th he's given up so far in this season. Here comes Al Schweitzer now. Schweitzer hitting 190, and it's probably time to bunt, so we will bunt. The roll is a 25 for an 8, would have been an out anyway. It's a bunt back to Lake, who fields it and throws over to Niles covering at first. Hartzell moves up to second, and he's in scoring position with 1 out. Here now is Tom Jones. Jones hitting 237, has driven in 15. Jones's roll 35 for a 37 changed to 39, and that means that Hartzell is caught trying to steal third, so 2 away. Good throw there by Kleinow. 2 away, Jones still up there. He rolls a 61 for a 41 changed to 23, and that's going to be an error on the catcher, Kleinow, this time. That was a swinging bunt in front of the plate, and he threw wildly to first, and so Jones is safe, and that'll bring up Jim Stevens. And so it goes, ups and downs. Stevens rolls a 64 for a 29. Comebacker over to Lake, who throws on to first for the out. And that does it for the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second inning, still no score. Here comes Jake Stahl. Stahl is hitting 209. Rolls a 33 for a 0, so this will help him. And it's a 44 for a 2, and that's a big triple to left center field, and that will bring up Neil Ball. And the way that things have been going, we're moving the infield in. Neil Ball is hitting 207 with 9 RBIs. We're going to check for the 13s because that's disaster, and he's got 3 of them. So we're going to give it a try and hope he doesn't strike out here. He hits a 13. Stahl is a dead duck. Here comes the bunt. It's a 65 for a 35. There is a little E-roll. It's a 13, so he will be safe at the plate. That's changed to an 18, which is an error on Hal. It's a bunt back to the pitcher. Hal picks it up, drops it, and drops it again. And so Ball is safe at first on the bunt, and it's a 1-0 lead now for the hated Highlanders. And here comes George Moriarty. Moriarty hitting 232, and he also is going to bunt. The roll is a 43 for a 29. It's a bad bunt. First base side. Jones has it, throws over to Hartzell, covering at second. Moriarty safe at first in the fielder's choice, and there's 1 away. Here comes Red Kleinow, and it's that time again. The Kleinow going to bunt, rolls a 33 for an 8, and it's a good bunt back to Hal, who throws it once again over to first. Williams covering at the bag, and the runner moves up to second. 2 away, runner on at second, and here's the pitcher. Lake rolls a 34 for a 44. It's a fly ball over to center field. Schweitzer makes that catch for the out, and that does it for the Highlanders, though they do pick up a run there in the bottom of the second. We go now to the top of the third inning. It's a 1-0 lead for New York, and here comes Danny Hoffman. Danny's roll, 53 for a 17, changed to 22, and that's going to be an error on the pitcher, Lake, and so he booted that one, and that allows Hoffman to go to first. Here comes Hal, and you know what time it is. Harry's hitting 211, but he's bunting, and the roll's a 51 for a 23, and it's a pop-up. It popped that bunt up. Lake grabs it and throws over to Chase at first for the double play, so that didn't work. 2 away, here's Ferris, and Hobe rolls a 31 for a 9. It's a pop-up to the left side in foul ground. There's Moriarty. He makes the catch for the out. We go now to the bottom of the third inning, and it's still a 1-0 lead for the Highlanders. Here is Harry Niles. Niles 0 for 1 today, rolls a 55 for a 9. That's a base hit, and he's then caught trying to steal because of the little C. So 1 away. Here is Wee Willie Keeler, who's 0 for 1, but he did reach on that error last time up. And the roll is a 26 for a 27, ground ball to third, and Ferris has that, throws to first, and there's 2 away. Charlie Hemphill now. Hemphill rolls a 14 for a 43. There is a little E roll. It's a 55, so it's a fly ball over to left field as that was out of the range, and it'll be Stone making that catch for the out. We go now to the top of the fourth inning. It's still a 1-0 lead for the New York Highlanders. Jimmy Williams comes up. He's 1 for 1 today, rolls a 25 for an 8, and he's now 2 for 2. That's a single for Williams, and that'll bring up George Stone. Williams does not have the 11, so we will bunt with Stone. Stone hitting 272, but he will sacrifice his turn for the cause of the team. The roll is a 61 for a 40. It's a good bunt to the right side. Chase fields it, flips over to Niles, the second baseman covering at first for the out. That brings up Roy Hartzell with a runner on at second, 1 out, top of the fourth. Hartzell's roll is a 36 for a 32, fly ball over to right. Caught there by Hoffman for the out, 2 away, and that'll bring up Schweitzer. So 2 away now for the Browns. Schweitzer's roll, 43 for a 29. It's a ground ball to the first baseman, Chase, who flips over to Lake, covering for him at the bag. We go now to the bottom of the fourth inning. Still 1-0 for the Highlanders, and here comes Hal Chase. I suppose New York fans would cheer him, but I'd be hissing. Chase rolls a 31 for a 9. That's a single, and then he's caught trying to steal second. So 1 away. That'll bring up Jake Stahl. Stahl's roll 22 for an 8. Ground ball over to the shortstop. Hartzell grabs that, fields it, throws to first. This time, no error, and there's 2 away. Here comes Neil Ball. Ball's roll 16 for a 26 is a ground ball over to second base. This time Williams fields it, and he throws on to first for the out. We go to the top of the fifth inning now. This game progressing quickly, as do most 1908 games. Here's Tom Jones for the Browns. And Jones rolls a 56 for a 32. Fly ball over to right field. Keeler has that one for the out, 1 away. Jim Stevens now rolls a 31 for a 36, and that's going to be a ball to him. It's a boring roll. Next rolls a 52 for a 27. Ground ball to third. And Moriarty fields that, throws over to first for the out, and there's 2 away. Here comes Danny Hoffman. His roll is a 32 for a 26, ground ball to second. Niles fields that and throws on to first for the out. We go now to the bottom of the fifth inning, and it remains a very, very close game, 1-0 lead for the Highlanders. And here comes Moriarty. George is 0 for 1, rolls a 34 for a 44. There is the little E roll. It's a 25, just missing that range. So it's a fly ball over to center where Schweitzer is camped under it for the out, 1 away. Red Kleinow comes up. Rolls a 51 for a 36, changed to a 40. That'll be a foul ball. His next roll, 63 for a 30. It's a fly ball to left, and Stone has that 1-2 away. They love putting that ball in play here in 1908. Here's Joe Lake. He rolls an 11 for a 0. And this will be a 66. You can see that right there for a 1. Now, there is a good chance that it'll be reduced to a double because of the G that Harry Hal has, and it's a 15. So it's within the range, and it ends up being a double for Lake. That's his first hit of the season. With 2 out here in the bottom of the fifth, that'll bring up Harry Niles. And Niles rolls a 63 for a 31. It's a fly ball over to center. Schweitzer has that one for the out. And now we go to the top of the sixth inning. It's still a 1-0 lead for New York. Here comes Harry Hal, the pitcher. Hal today, 0 for 1. He bunted, of course, into that double play. Rolls a 61 for a 13 and strikes out. That's the first strikeout of the ball game. Here comes Hope Ferris. Ferris rolls a 13 for a 39, changed to 36. That'll be a ball. And it's a 65 for a 35. Little E roll is a 23, so it will be changed to 15. That's going to be first and second on an error by Stahl. He let that fly ball just get past him. Poor play out there by Stahl, who's not a great fielder. That brings up Jimmy Williams now with a runner in scoring position. Williams hitting 248 with 10 driven in. His roll is 64 for a 29. Ground ball to first. Chase fields it, flips over to Lake, covering at the bag, and Ferris trots over to third. There's 2 away, and here comes George Stone. And he rolls a 15 for an 11, and there it is. Single to center field that scores the runner. Stone with Hartzell up is able to steal second, and it's a 1-1 ball game, and hold on to your hats. Here comes Roy Hartzell. 1-1 the score, and the rolls of 44 for an 8, and that's another single over second, and that will score another one. So the Browns have come up with 2 here in the top of the 6th, and they lead this one 2-1. Al Schweitzer now, and that was only the 4th hit for the Browns. Schweitzer rolls a 12 for a 24. There is a little E roll, and it's a 25 just missing the range. It's a ground ball over to the shortstop. Ball has it, flips over to Niles for the force out at second base. We go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 2-1 lead for the Browns. Here comes Wee Willie Keeler. His roll is a 43 for a 29. Comebacker to Harry Hal, who snags it and throws to first for the out. 1 away. Charlie Hemphill now rolls a 14 for a 43. There is the little E roll. It's a 32 outside the range, so it's a fly ball over to left, and Stone has that one. 2 away. And here comes Hal Chase. Chase's roll 43 for a 29, comebacker over to Hal, who fields it and throws to first for the out. That takes us now to the top of the 7th inning. Here comes Tom Jones. Tom Jones, the first baseman, rolls a 63 for a 31. It's a fly ball to center, and Hemphill has that one easily. 1 away. Jim Stevens up next. Roll is a 35 for a 22, changed to a 19. That's going to be an error charged to the third baseman, Moriarty, who played that one poorly. And that brings up Danny Hoffman, and it's another time for another bunt, as this is the bottom of the order for the Browns. So Hoffman will bunt. Rolls a 41 for a 28. It's a bunt back to Lake, who fields it and throws over to Niles, covering at first. Stevens moves to second. 2 away, and here comes the pitcher, Harry Howell. Howell today 0 for 2, hitting the double play and struck out. His roll is a 55 for an 8, and that's a single over second base. That scores the run, and he's on at first base with the 5th hit of the game for the Browns. So Joe Lake, having some bad luck here, has given up only 5 hits but 3 runs, and the Highlanders are not scoring. Here is Hope Ferris. He rolls a 51 for an 8. That's a single, sending Howell to third, but then Ferris is caught trying to steal because of the little C. And so we go now to the the bottom of the 7th inning. And it's a 3-1 lead now for the Browns, and it will be Jake Stahl here leading this off for the Highlanders. Stahl rolls a 53 for a 20. It's changed to 16, and that'll be a fly ball over to Schweitzer in center for the first out. 1 away, here's Neil Ball. And Ball rolls an 11 for a 0. His next roll is a 12 for an 11. That's a single for Ball, and then he's able to steal second with Moriarty up there. So 1 away, here comes George. It's only a 2-run lead, and they're going to have George swing away. He's hitting 224, is driven in 6. His roll of 23 for a 32. It's a fly ball over to right. Hoffman's got that one easily, and there's 2 away. Here comes Red Kleinow. Kleinow's roll of 45 for a 14, and that's another walk given up by Hal. That's the first walk, given up by Hal. It was Lake, who's at the plate now, who gave up the other one. And now it's decision time. So do you leave Lake into this game? Yeah, it's only the bottom of the 7th inning. I think we do. I think we will leave him in, but this is a hard decision to make. Lake is 1 for 2 with that double. That was his first hit of the season. His roll of 53 for a 21 changed to 22, and that's a comebacker back to Hal, who fields it and throws to first for the out. So much for that. We go now to the top of the 8th inning. It's a 3-1 lead for the Browns, and here is Jimmy Williams. Jimmy's roll 62 for a 12. The little E roll. It's a 63 out of the range, so it's a ground ball over to Hal Chase, who fields it and goes to the bag. 1 away. George Stone now rolls a 52 for a 27. Ground ball to third. Moriarty fields it and throws to first, and there's 2 down here for Roy Hartzell. And he rolls a 42 for a 13, and he will strike out. And that was pretty fast, wasn't it? Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's still a 3-1 lead for the Browns. Here comes Harry Niles. Niles rolls a 61 for a 13, and there's a strikeout. 1 away. Here comes Keeler. Wee Willie rolls a 53 for a 15. That's changed to an 18, and that'll be an error charged on Hartzell, and there is a chance. And so they're going to hit and run with Charlie Hemphill up there, 1 away. Hemphill's hitting 247, 0 for 3 today. His roll 16 for a 28, so that keeps him out of the double play. It's a ground ball to short. Hartzell fields it and throws to first. And there's 2 away, and here comes Hal Chase. Chase is hitting 218. No home runs, 7 driven in is all. A really poor slugging percentage. This is his chance to show his stardom, and he rolls a 41 for a 28, and it's another ground ball to short. Hartzell has that, and he throws to first for the out. That takes us now to the top of the 9th inning. It's still a 3-1 lead for the Browns. Here comes Al Schweitzer. Al's roll 61 for a 22, changed to an 18. That's going to be an error on ball to shortstop, and that will bring up Tom Jones. Jones today is 0 for 3. He's going to bunt, and the roll 53 for a 19. That's a bunt back to Lake, who throws over to first for the out. Schweitzer goes to second, 1 away. Here now is Jim Stevens. And he rolls a 66 for a 0. His next roll is a 14 for a 7. That's a single that'll score the runner, and Stevens is on at first. And now you really have to wonder if you shouldn't have taken Lake out. Here comes Danny Hoffman with the runner on at first. His roll is a 66. This is going to drive Lake out of the park. Next one's a 33 for a 2, and that's hit down the right field line, and that's into the corner. Hoffman has a triple, scores the run. It's a 5-1 game. And that's going to force us into a pitching change here for the Highlanders. So it's going to be Arthur Newton. It's going to be Doc Newton who comes into this ball game. Runner on a third base. 1 out is all. Infield is back. It's a 5-1 lead for the Browns, and they've really broken this one open. Here comes Harry Howell, the pitcher, who's 1 for 3. He rolls a 36 for a 33. There is a little E roll. And it's a 13. It's within the range. That is the 6th error committed by the Highlanders. That's an error this time, once again, a Moriarty who flubs the ground ball. Howell is safe at first, and the run scores. Not the prettiest played game. 9 errors combined. And here comes Hope Ferris with the runner on at first. 6-1 Browns. He rolls a 53 for a 20, changed to an 18. And that's another error on the shortstop ball. And that puts runners at the corners. And here comes Jimmy Williams. His roll 61 for a 36, and that allows Ferris to steal second. And you're going to have to walk, I think, Williams here. I think that's the right thing to do, so we'll walk him. Now loads him up, and here comes George Stone. Funny thing is that the pitcher has not given up a base hit. Newton has pitched to 4, has gotten 0 out. I'm sorry, he's pitched to 3, has gotten nobody out, given up 2 errors, and now the intentional walk. Here comes Stone with only 1 out top of the 9th. And his roll is a 61 for a 40, changed to 36, and that's a wild pitch. And that allows the runners to advance, and it's now a 7-1 game. He will pitch to Stone, and his roll, look at that, is a 66 for a 0. And it's a 26 for a 6, and that's a double to right that clears the bases. Goodbye, Newton. That's the end for him, and it'll be Al Orth coming into this game, and the Highlanders are really falling apart. 9-1 now, the Browns with the lead. Here comes Roy Hartzell, who's 1 for 3. His roll is a 41 for a 28, ground ball to short. Ball has it on to first. Stone goes to third, and there's 2 away. Here's Al Schweitzer with a runner on at third. Al rolls a 56 for a 40, and it's a pop-up over to left. It's a short fly ball. Stahl fields that one for the out, and all the tension has been gone, has left this game. No more air in the balloon, and here comes Jake Stahl for the Highlanders, now 9-1. Stahl rolls a 54 for a 45, fly ball to right. Hoffman has it, 1 away. Harry Howell, 2 outs away from the complete game. Roll for Neil Ball is a 13 for a 14, and that'll bring up Moriarty. George hitting 220, rolls a 53 for an 18, and that's going to be an error on the shortstop Hartzell. That is the 11th error of this ball game. And here comes Red Kleinow, 7 for the Highlanders, 4 for the Browns. Kleinow comes up, and he rolls a 46 for a 29. It's a comebacker over to Howell, who throws to first for the out. Moriarty moves to second. That'll bring up Al Orth, and of course, he's not going to hit for himself. We will put Wood Conroy in. We've been pinch hitting with him. He's hitting a mighty 129. And here comes Wood, and his roll 51 for a 9, and that's going to be a single. Scores 1. And then Conroy caught trying to steal afterwards. So that's the end of that one. 9-2, the final score. 11 errors in this ball game, and the errors really abounded. And that's the end of that. That's all she wrote. Hope you enjoyed this one. 9-2, Browns with the victory. I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.